I need to tell you something that might be hard to hear. Most people who start learning French will quit. Not after years, not after months, within the first 3 months. They'll download the app, they'll buy the course, they'll tell their friends that they're learning French, post about it on social media, feel excited and motivated, and then they stop. The app gets deleted, the course collects dust, the textbook sits unopened, and learning French quietly becomes I tried to learn French once. Sound familiar? Maybe you've been this person before, or maybe you're scared of becoming this person. I've been this person, so no shade. I've been this person multiple times. Bonjour, je suis Simoloa. J'ai appris le français à l'âge adulte et grâce à cette langue, je peux m'installer au Canada. But what most people don't know is I quit French many times before I finally made it work. I started in 2010, I quit. I started again in 2013, I quit. Tried again in 2014, I quit. It wasn't until 2018 that I actually stuck with it. So I know exactly why people quit because I've lived it. And today I'm going to share the real reasons people give up on French in the first 3 months, and more importantly, how to make sure you're not one of them. Before I get into the reasons, let me tell you why this matters. Learning French can change your life. It changed mine. It got me to Canada. It opened doors I never even knew existed. It's given me the ability to connect with people from all over the world. And honestly, it's always an interesting conversation starter. I can't count how many times I've been at a networking event and someone asks, do you do anything outside of your day job? And I say, yes, I teach French. And their eyes lit up like, really? How did you learn? Why French? It always sparks the most interesting conversations. People are genuinely curious. It makes you memorable and it makes you stand out. But none of that happens if you quit in month 2. The difference between people who become fluent and people who stay stuck forever is not talent. It's not intelligence. It's not even time. It's whether they push through the hard part. And the hardest part is the beginning. If you can survive the first 3 months, your chances of success in the French language go up dramatically. You build momentum, you build habits, and you start seeing results that keep you going. But most people never get there. They quit before the magic happens. Let me tell you why. The first reason people quit: unrealistic expectations. They start learning French expecting to be conversational in a few weeks, do a few lessons, and suddenly be speaking French. Then reality hits. After a month, they still can't understand native speakers. They still stumble over basic sentences. They still forget words that they learned yesterday, and they think, something is wrong with me. This isn't working. Nothing is wrong with them. They just had wrong expectations. I made an entire video about how long it actually takes to learn French. If you're interested in that video, you can click this link above. I'll also link in the description box below. The honest truth is, with consistent structured learning, you can reach a solid A2 level in about 2 to 3 months. That means basic conversations, simple situations, survival in French. If you don't believe me, take a look at this picture right here. This is one of the prestigious schools in France, and you can literally see how long it says it takes to get to just the A2 level. But fluency, real conversations, understanding movies, that takes longer, 6 months, a year, maybe more. If you expect fluency in 30 days and you don't get it, you feel like a failure. But you are not failing, you're just expecting the wrong timeline. The fix: set realistic expectations from the start. In month 1, your goal is to learn the basics and start speaking slowly. Yes, even from day 1. Even if all you can say is bonjour, je suis Sumoloa, j'habite à Londres. That counts. Like, that's actually speaking. Get comfortable with the sound. Let your ears adjust to how French sounds through music, through podcasts, through the radio, through cartoons, whatever you enjoy, and open your mouth from day 1, from the beginning. In month 2, your goal is to expand. More vocabulary, more grammar, longer sentences, more speaking practice. In month 3, your goal is to push further. More conversations, more confidence, more real life practice. Please note, you should be speaking from week 1. Not perfectly, not fluently, but speaking. Because if you wait until month 3 to open your mouth, that's already a mistake. When you set realistic expectations and start speaking early, you don't get discouraged. You celebrate small wins and you keep going. The second reason people quit: no clear goal. They say, I want to learn French, but they don't know why. Like, not really. It seems cool. I've always wanted to. Maybe I'll travel someday. These are not goals. These are vague wishes. And vague wishes don't survive hard days, because there will be hard days. There will be days when you don't feel like studying, days when you are tired, and days when French just feels impossible. On those days, it seems cool, won't get you to practicing your French course. But I need B2 by December to apply for Canadian immigration will. When I was dabbling with French, when I say dabbling, from 2010 to 2017, I had no real goal. I was just learning for fun, for someday, for maybe, and I quit every single time. But then in 2018, something changed. I had a goal. I had a real one. I wanted to finally stick to this goal I had been setting for myself year after year. I was exhausted and tired of failing at it. And later, I discovered how French could help me immigrate to Canada, which gave me an even more urgent goal. Suddenly, studying wasn't optional. It wasn't when I feel like it. It was necessary, it was urgent, and it was connected to something I desperately wanted. And so, I stopped quitting. So the fix: get specific about your why. Not Sumo's why, not David's why, your why. Why are you learning French? What would it give you? What happens if you succeed? What happens if you quit? Write it down. Make it real. Make it emotional. I want to pass a TEF exam by December so I can apply for Canadian immigration and give my family a better life. I want to reach B1 by June so I can apply for that job in Cote d'Ivoire. I want to be conversational by September so I can speak to my partner's family without feeling left out. When your goal is specific and emotional, quitting becomes much harder. The third reason people quit: they start too intense. You know the pattern. Someone gets excited about learning French. They decide they're going to study 2 hours every day. They download 5 apps. They buy 3 courses. They plan to watch movies every night. Week 1, they're on fire, studying every day, feeling motivated. Week 2, life happens, work is busy, they're tired, maybe they miss a day. Week 3, they've missed several days. They feel guilty. The 2-hour study sessions feel impossible. They're behind on everything. Week 4, they quit. This happens all the time. People start with unsustainable intensity, and when they can't maintain it, they give up entirely. Here's the truth, and I say this so many times: 15 to 30 minutes a day is way better than just 2 hours once a week. Consistency beats intensity every single time. I have a method called the 3-to-1 method. 3 minutes of listening, 2 minutes of reading, 1 minute of speaking. That's 6 minutes total. On busy days, 6 minutes is all I did, and those 6 minutes kept the habit alive for me back then. They kept the momentum going. They kept me connected to French. If you've been relying on motivation and intense study sessions, I made a video about a 3-to-1 method that might help you. I will link it in the description box below. The fix: start small, embarrassingly small. Commit to maybe 10 or 15 minutes a day. That's it, like something so easy that you can't say no. Once the habit is established, that is, once French is just part of your daily routine, you can add more time. But in the beginning, your only job is not to quit. That's all. The fourth reason people quit: they're learning alone without any support. Learning a language is hard. Whew. It is so hard. Like, there are days when you feel stupid, days when you feel like you're not making any progress, days when you want to give up. And if you're alone in that struggle with no one to encourage you, no one to answer your questions, no one to understand what you're going through, quitting becomes easy. You miss a few days and no one notices. You give up and no one asks why. You struggle and no one helps. Humans are social creatures. We do better when we're not alone. The fix: find your people. This could be a tutor who helps keep you accountable. Every week you have a session. You can't skip it. Why? Because someone is expecting you. I mean, you can, but you get what I mean. It could also be a community of other learners, people on the same journey, people who understand the struggle, people who celebrate your wins and pick you up when you're down. I have a free Telegram group where people find accountability partners and support each other on their friend journey. It's a space to connect with other learners who understand exactly what you're going through. I've linked my Telegram group in the description box below if you want to join us. The point is, don't do this alone. Find a tutor, find a community, find a study buddy, just find someone. It's just like, when you want to start going to the gym, you start thinking, okay, can I go with my sister? Can I go with a friend? Or can I meet somebody in the gym and then we become gym buddies? It's something like that. You need someone to keep you accountable, because when you have support, quitting becomes much harder. The fifth reason people quit: they don't see progress. They study for weeks, they put in the effort, but they still can't understand native speakers. They still make mistakes. They still feel like beginners. And they think, what's the point? This isn't working. I'm wasting my time. Here's the thing about language learning: progress is often invisible. You don't notice that you understood a word you didn't understand last month. You don't notice that your pronunciation is slightly better. You don't notice that you're reading faster. These changes happen slowly, gradually. And because you're with yourself every day, you don't see them. It's like watching a child grow. And I can tell because for my daughter, the parents don't notice day to day. But a relative who visits once a year goes like, wow, you've grown so much. The fix: please track your progress deliberately. Record yourself speaking at the start of your journey. Then record yourself again after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Listen to the difference. Keep a journal of what you're learning. Look back at what you studied in week 1. You'll be amazed at how easy it all seems now. And here's a big one. If you can, take an official exam. If you've been studying French for a while and you really want to test yourself, write one of the DELF exams. DELF A1, DELF A2, DELF B1, DELF B2, whatever level you think you're at. Check the nearest French accredited center in your city. Look at when they're offering exams, book it, and start practicing towards that date. There's something powerful about having an official exam on the calendar. It gives you a deadline. It gives you structure. And when you pass, you have proof. Actual proof that you've made progress. When I passed my DELF A2 exam, I could see my progress in black and white. It wasn't just a feeling anymore. It was real. It was official. And that motivated me to keep going. Please also remember, celebrate small wins too. You understood a sentence in a song, celebrate. You had a 2-minute conversation without freezing, celebrate. You read a paragraph without looking anything up, celebrate. Progress is happening. You just have to learn to see it. The 6th reason people quit, they compare themselves to others. They see someone on YouTube who became fluent in 6 months. They see a classmate who seems to learn faster. They see someone online who just passed their B2 exam after studying for a shorter time. And they think, why is everyone else getting it except me? What's wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. You're just on a different path, okay? Everyone's journey is different. Some people have more time. Some people have learned languages before. Some people have more access to native speakers. Some people's brains work differently. Comparison is the thief of joy. And in language learning, it is also the thief of progress. When you're busy comparing yourself to others, you're not focused on your own growth. You are distracted, discouraged, defeated. The fix, compare yourself only to your past self. Are you better than you were last month? Yes, then you're winning. Are you further along than you were 6 months ago? Yes, then you're on track. Your only competition is who you were yesterday, not the polyglots on YouTube, not your classmates, not anyone else. Stay in your lane. Focus on your journey. Trust your process. Let me share something personal. I quit French at least 4 or 5 times, maybe even more, I can't remember now, before I finally made it work. I started in 2010, I quit. I started in 2013 again, I quit. I tried again in 2014, I quit. I picked it up again in 2016, I quit. Every single time I fell into one of these traps. Unrealistic expectations, unclear goal, starting too intense, learning alone, not seeing progress, comparing myself to others. And every single time, what happened? I gave up. And then in 2018, something shifted. To be very honest, at first it wasn't about immigration. It was about finally sticking to this goal I had been setting for myself year after year. I was tired of failing at it. And then something happened. I ran into a former teacher of mine who just assumed I could already speak French. I'd learned French with him, I think in 2013. This was 2018. What would you think? And I was so embarrassed. I mean, here I was, someone who had been talking about learning French for years, and I still couldn't speak it properly. That shame lit a fire under me. I thought, Sumolua, this is the one goal you cannot afford to fail again. And so I found a tutor. I stuck with him. I practiced consistently. I stopped making excuses. And by June 2018, I wrote my very first French exam, the DELF A2, and I passed. You can see my result. When I saw those results, I was so proud. After so many years of starting and stopping, I finally had proof that I was making progress. That was a turning point. And then towards the end of 2018, early 2019, I started hearing a lot about how French could help with Canadian immigration. And suddenly I had an even more pressing goal. Yes, I had already wanted to speak another language. I wanted to access global opportunities. Now I had a specific urgent goal: relocate to Canada. That lit an extra fire under me. I got a tutor specifically for TEF preparation. I practiced 3 or 4 times a week with him, plus studying on my own. Please note, I still practiced by myself. I was focused, I was consistent, I was determined. And in July 2019, I took my TEF exam. I passed 3 C1s and 1 B2. Those results got me enough points for Canadian immigration. And in 2022, I moved to Canada. That's what's possible when you don't quit in less than 3 months. I went from someone who gave up over and over and over to someone who passed her exams, moved to Canada, and now teaches hundreds of students. The only difference, I stopped quitting. And so here are the 6 reasons most people quit French in the first 3 months. Number 1, unrealistic expectations. They expect fluency too fast. Number 2, no clear goal. They don't have a strong enough why. Number 3, starting too intense. They burn out before habits form. Number 4, learning alone. They have no support system. Number 5, not seeing progress. They don't track their growth. Number 6, comparing to others. They focus on everyone else's journey instead of their own. If you recognize yourself in any of these, that's okay. Now you know, and now you can fix it. Set realistic expectations. Get a clear goal. Start small. Find your people. Track your progress. Stay in your own lane. Do these things, and you won't be one of the people who quit in month 3. You'll be one of the people who actually become fluent. Your timeline might be faster or slower depending on your situation. But here's what I want you to remember. It doesn't matter how long it takes. What matters is that you keep going. I went from quitting French multiple times to passing my TEF exam once, moving to Canada, and teaching hundreds of students. It took time, but it was worth every every minute. If I can do it, you can do it too. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, okay, Sumo, thank you. I don't want to quit, but I need structure. I need a clear plan so I know exactly what to study. Well, that's exactly why I created my French Fluency Guide. This guide gives you over 90 topics organized by level from A1 all the way to C1. It tells you exactly what to focus on at each stage. Grammar, vocabulary, skills, everything laid out week by week. You don't have to guess anymore. You don't have to wonder, am I studying the right thing? You just follow the roadmap. And it's not just me saying this. Look at what others who have gotten the guide is saying. This is a roadmap I wish I had when I started. It would have saved me years of quitting and restarting. I've linked the French Fluency Guide in the description box below. Go ahead and grab it. And let's make sure you do not become one of those people who quit. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever quit learning French before? What made you stop? Be honest, I would love to know. Please like this video. It really helps other learners find this content. And please share this video with anybody else who you know is looking to quit or has already quit. Subscribe if this video helped you, as I post videos every week to help you in your French journey. And remember, if you're really busy and you just want to focus on learning in short bursts, I have an entire video where I teach you about my 3-to-1 method that I think might help you. I'll see you in that video. Bonne journée!